Hmm.
Fresh out the oven, straight to the bank. Ben's Hager smelling like bank. Seats, somebody died on them. Kitty looking like somebody cried on it. Ooh, what you looking at? What you looking at? Body like cinnamon roll. Icing on the top if you got it, let's go.
All right, all right, all right. Okay, wait a minute. I don't hear you. I don't hear you. I don't know what just happened. I heard you before we got started. I don't hear you now. Can you hear me? Hmm. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Okay, let me try it now. Can you say something now? And you're muted. Oh, it says your mic isn't connected. I don't know what happened. All right, all right. So you guys give us a moment because Pastel is getting her mic together. We are going to get started in just a second. It's not doing any. Okay, so she's going to be back in just a second and we are going to get started. Just as a reminder to everybody, tonight we are talking about deal do's and deal don'ts. What you need to do before, what you need to know before purchasing a toy. So, um, an adult toy. So we're going to be talking about that tonight as soon as she comes back. Also, let me go ahead and say that we go live on Wednesday, every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern for No Bra Wednesday, where we let our girls loose and we say it with our breasts. So you want to make sure that you catch us next Wednesday. When actually next Wednesday, all of next Wednesday, we will not have a show, but all next week we will be doing some money mantras to prepare you for the new year. So Pasta's really excited about that. She's kind of put together some mantras that she feels like will be good to prepare you for the new year. And so we're going to have a mantra each day as we of next week as we prepare for the new year, and something for you to actually sit with and resonate with and kind of meditate on and get your mind right so you can get your money right for this new year. So let's see. She is still not back. Let's see. Let me take a look and see. Um, looks like we have some comments. Okay, so let's see. Hey, Warren, Happy New Year, Happy Holiday. Uh, and so you could hear me, but could you hear? Were you able to hear Pops when she was talking? I don't know why I couldn't hear anymore. I don't know what happened. So she should be back in just a moment. Let's see. All right. So while we're waiting, I would also love as we're preparing for the new year and getting clear about what we'll be talking about in the new year, we would love your comments if you have any shows that you'd like for us to talk about, any topics under the categories of sex, money, relationships, or self-care. Out of the, I mean, I know you guys have seen some of the ones that we've done already, but any that you think would be awesome to hear from us from the new year. We already have the things that we have in mind, and we've kind of put together a preliminary schedule for the new year. However, it would be awesome to hear from you. So we have an idea of what you love to listen to, what you'd like to hear more about. Also, if you have a topic and you are a professional, and you have something you'd like to pitch to us that you'd love to be on the show as a guest, we would love to hear from you so that we have an idea of what you maybe would like to do a show about and see if we can bring that topic to our viewers. As you know, we love having professionals on so that we can to just talk about new stuff. We've had people on to talk about, that one of our more recent ones was hair care, black hair. So we had some hair care professionals on. We've had the stylists on to help take a look at your new year. We've had some sexologists on to talk about different sexual topics. So, but we'd love to hear more from you. If you have things that you would love to hear from us, and for us to have a show about, or if you'd like to be a guest, just let us know. You can either drop a message in the comments or drop us a message in the inbox. Now, it looks like Pastel has come back in. I do not understand why it says that she's not connected. That is interesting. All right, so let's see. I'm going to press, no, I don't want to end this. So I think if I end it, then we'll have to set up a whole new show. So, what do I do? All right, so let me see. Let me see if she sent me a message. Oh, she said it's not letting her in. That is weird. Oh, let's see. Let me send her a link. So you guys be patient with us. Give us a moment. Let me see if I can get her back in the room. Yeah. All right, let's see. And how can I send this to her? Oh, that's not going to work. Okay, give me one moment. Let me see how I can get this link to her. We'll be back in a moment.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine now, ma'am.
Oh my Lord.
What in the
God,
hell?
we had to cut all that shit out. God
What in
damn.
the hell?
I had
Oh
to get
my
a
gosh.
whole nother computer.
Really? I
Yeah,
don't
this
understand what just
another
happened.
computer. This is crazy.
I
Anyway, shit.
Yes. And I could hear you fine before we got started. So I don't understand.
Wow. Well,
But you know,
uh,
maybe Mercury's in retrograde.
I don't know what the fuck going on, but this shit is crazy. So anyway, welcome to another No Bra Wednesday. We are having some difficulties before the holidays. We probably should just ran an old show or some shit.
We probably should have. We probably just be like, look, here's the show for you. You can watch this one.
I'm disturbed.
Yeah.
But let
So,
me get out of being disturbed. All right.
Yeah.
So welcome to another No Bra Wednesday, and it is Cocktails with a Sexologist, and we are talking about dildos and dildos.
What? Yes. What you should and shouldn't be doing with them vibrators.
Right. What you shouldn't do with adult toys. Okay. So I hope you all watch this and we can cut that first part out and just post the rest of the video. We should be able to do that, right?
I think we can. Yeah, I think, but yeah, we'd have to take that one down. Just hide the live version and upload the new yeah,
okay,
we can work. Yeah, we can work with it.
Let's do that because this shit is crazy. So
Yeah.
anyway, it's you and me. Everybody probably disconnected and let go. So we're just gonna talk about this shit on our own.
Yeah. No, there's some people hung in there with us. They understand. Somebody said start the show. I know that's right. What is taking y'all so long?
God. I had some problems.
Yes.
I got on the phone, got on the computer, two computers. So I got my little Chromebook sitting up here. Thank God I bought that. That was a good little $100 purchase. Praise
there
God.
You go. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, yeah. Hey y'all. Hey. Hey y'all. Hey. Somebody just said hey y'all. Hey.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Hey.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, technical difficulties happen, and sometimes you never know why something's happening, but it is. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
We're not CBS, so
right. We here. So. Where are they? Let me see if these people in the. All right, Sonya. Well, let's go.
Yes. Okay. So it's Adela. Hey, Taylor. So what I wanted, so we're going to talk about is the dildos and Dil-donts, and part of my desire to talk about it. One is because there's so much that we don't necessarily think about when we're purchasing toys, or when we're even considering whether we want adult toys or not. So there's some things in terms of how to even look at purchasing them, how to use them, what you want to consider, and things you want to make sure that you are doing and that you are Dil-donting. So
are we clever?
We are clever. Pastel came up with that. So I thought it was so cute.
Yes, cute.
Yes. So one of the first things I want to start out with is a Dil-don't, and that is to assume that toys are for women alone, or that toys are for singles or people with terrible sex lives. And I think sometimes there's an assumption that, only women use actually adult toys, or that it's only for women who don't have somebody. You lonely and you sad and you pitiful, and this is the best you can do.
I think that assumption has been blown out the water, because I know a lot of men are competing with electric dicks.
Yes. It's blowing out it's for some people. There are people that feel that are clear that, okay, they use this with their partner. They're quite clear that this is something that you can use to enhance your sex life in general. But there's still people that are quite intimidated by it. So I have people that ask me all the time, how can I get my partner to be open to the idea? Because they assume that it's a replacement, or somehow that this means that you saying that, you ain't shit in the bed. And that is not what that means. It's actually, it's an opportunity to take it to another level. First of all, because our old bodies are not doing the exact same thing it used to be when you were 20. So some of the stuff that you used to be able to get away with, and that some of the stamina, some of the
The sensation, all I mean, it changes.
Exactly.
Especially menopausal women,
Girl, don't even
it
start.
that's a whole nother area. It's just an untapped market. We really need to talk about that side.
Yeah. And so so often we all just need a little help in the bedroom. And so being able, so some is help and some is actually just like making it spicy. Some you get tired of doing the exact same thing all the time.
Right.
And so, I'm saying toys, but really there's a whole uh, kind of like classification of just saying adult enhancement products. So I have a friend that she deals mostly with couples, so she calls them relationship enhancement products.
Okay.
I don't like to say relationship because not everybody's in a relationship. Sometimes you relating to yourself.
Well, that's a
So
relationship too.
it is. And I sell products to women that they just use for themselves for masturbation. And I sell products to men that they just use for masturbation. So it's not just about relationship, but sometimes it is getting a little bit just some enhancement and enjoying yourself a little differently than you are accustomed to. So I like to say sometimes we get stuck in a rut of playing Mary Had a Little Lamb, and you are doing the exact same routine over and over. And you're gonna possibly get bored with that and could look to enhance your bedroom. So that's one of the things that I want to say that's a don't. Um, one of the things that I want to say is that's a do is for you to when you're thinking about considering a toy, that you actually consider what you really like and how you can enhance that. So there's so much stuff on the market. I know a lot of times people go into a toy store and they're intimidated by there being so many different products. And so
it's a lot out there. I mean,
it is a lot.
It's a long way from the rabbit, huh?
Girl, we got some of everything, and this and there is, and I know people usually think about toys, vibrators, or dildos that are shaped like a penis, but there's so much stuff like swings.
Oh yeah,
there are pillows that are designed to help prop your body and maintain certain positions. There are
straps.
There are straps. There's some people like bondage. Some people
but not,
like
I'm thinking about the one that you used to sell. It was the one where you can like pull the person to you.
Yes. Okay. Positional straps. Yeah. So that's designed. Yep. Designed to help you hold a position. And that's again, sometimes when we get older, holding certain positions is a little more challenging. So getting stuff.
My legs
tired, and I cannot be doing the acrobatics with you today in the bed. So, yeah. So it's like actually being able to use straps or different things to help you enhance. Also, there are candles, wax candles that you can use. There are massage oil candles to help you massage each other. So it's not just a vibrating toy. It's props. Really, I would say props. It's like bedroom props.
Why don't you rename that?
Rename them as bedroom props. Yes. So, so yeah, sexual pleasure props and enhancers.
SPP. So. we need to coin that.
So yeah, so I would say kind of think about the stuff that you like so that you have an idea of what you're interested in. Like for some of my clients, they may say that, oh, I like internal stimulation. Some of my girls are like, I don't want anything to be inserted. They're clear about that. Some people like external stimulation. So you want to start, at least if you're talking to whatever professional you're talking to in terms of determining what you want to be able to express what it is that you enjoy and what might enhance that, and also what you're curious about. I know a lot of us see stuff on TV or in the movies, or maybe hear about. I know right now people talking about that Tracy's dog toy. Did you hear about that?
I heard. Wait, who talked about?
It's the comedian. It's the guy. What's his name? He did it in his set, and now everybody's talking about how they need Tracy's
Dion
dog.
Cole.
Yes. So you thought it makes you a little curious, and you're like, okay, let me try this. So making a list of the things that you might be interested in, or that you might want to explore. So, and getting clear about what that might be so that you kind of have some place to start. Because otherwise you can go into a shop or you can talk to a professional and kind of get very maybe overwhelmed with what's available. And sometimes I think that causes people to decide, okay, nobody wants to do all of this.
Where would you find an adult toy professional. You said professional.
Oh, well, so I'm saying professional because like you have people that sell toys, like myself. So I sell toys. So and I have a wholesale account to that I can purchase toys. So people may know, people know folks that do toy parties and that sort of stuff. So that's what I mean by professional. Somebody that sells them or going to an actual store where they're usually somebody that's trained that works at the store that can teach you about the toys as well.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. So now
I like to, you said, think about what you like.
mhm.
And I think it's important to think about every sense. So what do you like to see? What do you
That's a
like
good
to
idea.
hear? What do
Yes.
you like to taste? What do you like to feel? Where do you like to feel it?
Yeah.
So that, I think that's important when picking out something,
Yeah.
or doing something different.
Right. Yeah. When considering what you might want to explore. And with what you just said, that makes me think about the show that we did on the sexual blueprint, where we talked about identifying what your sexual blueprint is so that you know what turns you on. It's kind of
Right.
like your sexual love language. There
Right.
is we had it posted in the group. I can drop it in the chat out later, but you can take a quiz that will allow you to determine what is it that you kind of what helps turn you on. And once you're clear about that, you can also then look at the toys that or the type of enhancers that might support that. Because with some of us, like there's I'm more sensuous, so feathers and light touch and play and possibly sensory deprivation, like putting on a blindfold, like stuff like that would be exciting. So you want to, consider what is it that would, kind of get you going, and then possibly look at some products in that area, and also look at what might be outside of that. So it might be some
Right.
things that you never considered that you might be interested in. So then that brings me to another deal do, and that is do talk to your partner about it first.
Hmm.
Huh.
Don't be
Huh.
rolling up in there like, ooh,
Girl.
wait a minute. give me a moment.
Yeah, I think talking about it with your partner gives them an opportunity for you guys for you to say what it is that you are thinking or what you want to experience, or okay, this is something I want to try. But in addition, it gets you to have a dialogue so you can find out what they think about that and what they might be interested in as well, so that you can choose something together. Now, all of your toys don't have to be together. Some toys may be things that you're going to use just yourself. But of course, in a relationship, it would be helpful to have that conversation and to possibly explore. I remember when I was in my 20s, I was going to go to a toy party, and the guy that I was dating at the time, we went through the catalog and was like, "Ooh, what about this? Ooh, what about that?" And so he was like, "Okay, I like these things," and then like, here's some money. I'm like, "I know that's right." So but it was like I already went to the party knowing that these were things that we were excited about trying, and that that uh, that we were both on the same page about. So I think it would be a good idea to have those conversations, and sometimes just having that conversation helps when if you're finding it hard to have the conversation. It's introducing it first of all, not in the bed, not when you're actually in the moment. Yes. You want to do it in a neutral time, and you want to do it like it's like over breakfast type of thing, or over like, just casually. You know what I saw? There's this toy that has such and such. I heard about this thing. I think it might be interested to try. And I think you want to reassure your partner that it's not because that you're not enjoying sex with them, but that you would like to enhance what's happening.
Right.
So yeah, so there's not so much that okay, yeah, you're terrible and I need to do something different.
Even though that might be the reason. I'm trying to help us out.
Right. Well, I mean, you might want to be like, okay, so I would like to experience more of this, and so I want to see how to actually have that happen. So that's yeah. So just some ways to you want to be gentle with your partner's feelings. So I would just always err on the side of having them not feel like they're being rejected because of the toy. Because of course they're not going to want to use that toy, and they're not going to be interested in participating in it with you. So it's just something to consider. Yeah. So okay, let's see. I'm going to use a different type of dildo. And one is I would say one with the dildos for in terms of toys that you already have, I would say mix up what you're using. Do not get stuck in a rut and use the same thing every time in the same way. So I know a lot of people have heard that, okay, there's this rumor that you can desensitize your clitoris.
I've
Or
heard
that you
that
can,
before.
yeah. Now, it's not so much that you can desensitize yourself as opposed to you can train yourself so that you have kind of uh, uh, drove a rut through the carpet. So it's kind of like, your body's now accustomed to, this is the way that we come. And so this is the only way that we're going to have an orgasm. And so trying something different, then your body's not used to that now. So you want to mix it up so that you don't get stuck, train your body to think that this is only going to happen one way. And that can happen actually for men and women. I've actually I've heard of a client where he was using dry masturbation. He would not use lotion or lube. He was actually doing dry masturbation. So he would have an orgasm every time that way with himself. When he started then having sex with a woman, couldn't have an orgasm because it doesn't have the same sensation. He's accustomed to this dry motion and not a slippery, wet motion. So it's possible for you to really train your body to a specific thing, and then it's hard to get it out of that. So if you are using products, you want to make sure you're mixing it up. Use your fingers sometime. Use a different type of vibrator. Go for a different sensation. But when you do the same thing every single time, you can kind of maybe not that it's permanent. You'll have to just now retrain your body to something different. So, and it may take a little longer to actually have an orgasm. So you just want
that involves patience. I mean,
what's that?
Retraining your body.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
You really be committed to that. And how does that work when you just want to have an orgasm? How does that work when you're like, okay, enough of this. That's it. I'm done.
Right. Yeah. So then, so you're right. So you almost have to have patience in the new way and start to feel that sensation in that way so that you're allowing yourself to not feel almost using it like a crutch or using the the way you do it, like you're addicted to it almost.
Right.
So so it's putting it down and say, I'm not using this toy maybe for a month, and let me do something different so that you can now start to retrain and do your learn to have an orgasm in a different way. Yeah.
That seemed like it would be difficult.
I would say it might be, especially when you just want to go for the quickie and you just want to make it happen. Yeah. It can, I would say it can be if you get yourself in that rut, but if you just start to switch it up, even if you're already in the rut, it might be a little challenging, but if you want to try to keep from getting there, try doing different things.
Okay.
Yeah. And even with your partner, you want to, because then otherwise it is, you guys are, how you have that same routine where you like, okay, first we do this, then you do that, then you do this, and then you suck on that, and then you do that, and then I have an orgasm. It's like you do the exact same routine every time you get in the bed. Even with your partner, you don't necessarily want to do that. I mean, yes, it feels nice to already know the pattern and know that this is exactly what will get me there. However, then that's always going to be. That's where we get settled into boredom, and this ain't fun no more, and we do the exact same thing. That's when you start seeking and saying, okay, what else? Do I need some excitement outside of here?
Right.
So just something to consider. So that's one of my do mix it up. Where don't get stuck in a rut. Let's see. Now, in terms of choosing a toy, you want to be really, really careful. So be careful with choosing the right type of material. All materials for sex toys are not good materials, and actually some materials are actually dangerous to be inserted. Oh, hell yeah.
Okay, well, let's talk about danger.
Dangerous. So I'll tell you specifically. So there was it phthalates in am I pronouncing that right? Phthalates. Phthalates.
I
It's
can't.
PHTHALATES.
PHY.
But those are different types of plastics. There's materials that actually the way that you can tell if you want to know how to identify it. Usually, if you get a toy, if you open the package and it smells like plastic or it smells like a shower curtain, it's usually not a safe plastic.
That's a good point. So,
Yeah.
all right. So, smell your toy before when you get it.
Exactly. Smell actually. You see if you can smell the model in the store and see if it smells kind of plasticky. So really, there's certain, and I'll go over the actual materials that are more safe that you want to lean towards. You also want to look at what it says it actually is made out of. But I can tell you those phthalates. One, it's let's see, it's been found to be potentially carcinogenic and harmful to reproductive health. And our vaginas are actually very
Porous.
it's a sponge. It's a sponge. And so we absorb a lot. So those little, like you can leave little particles in your vaginal area that are then being absorbed by your body. So you want to be very careful. Also, a lot of those, some of those, the ones that smell like plastic, they're porous. And so even though you can't see it, they can absorb like bacteria. Bacteria can go down into the surface of the toy. And then when you clean the outside, that doesn't necessarily get rid of all the bacteria. And you can reintroduce bacteria back into your body.
Oh my Lord.
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, so you want to be leery of ones that are like that, like a jelly rubber or a nylon, neoprene, and as I mentioned, that has phthalates in it. Now, if you do use some of those toys, the best way, if you have one that you already have, the best way to keep yourself safe is to use a condom. Put a condom on it every time, and then you can keep yourself safe that way. If not, you want to avoid using that. Now, the ones that are actually really good, silicone, excellent for use on body. It's not going to absorb, as I mentioned, it's not unsafe in terms of absorbing anything. It's not porous, and you can actually disinfect that really well. Glass is good. And let's see, Pyrex and then stainless steel. So anything like any of those materials, those are good for
those materials sound painful.
Well, you know what?
Silicone.
Right. Well, you know what? Different people like different textures. So some of the reasons people like glass dildos is they can be heated. They can also be frozen so that you can actually use them to give you a cool sensation. So and some people like that hardness versus, maybe some of the more squishiness that would be found in a toy that's made of a silicone. So really it's a, to each his own. Not everybody. Yeah. For some people, glass is too hard. Usually it's like that glass solid dildo, and they're really pretty, but not everybody wants to use,
And the stainless steel, that's hard.
Yeah, that's also hard. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you can make that cold too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can make that different temperature. So just be really careful. Look at the packaging, see what it's made of. Any of the products I sell, I make sure that they're 100% safe. I do not believe in, we really get to have fun and be safe at the same time. I have to say that back in the day when I was in my 20s, we did not know anything about the safety. And so, you walk around with yeast infections and all kinds of dumb shit because you're using products that are not safe. So just because, they're not, and it's not regulated and there's nobody telling them that they cannot make products out of a specific material.
So cleaning, you definitely want to use soap and water and sit there for a little while.
Yeah, well, you want so with the cleaning, first of all, one of the do's is to clean your toys after every use. You do, and you want to not reintroduce a toy that has not been cleaned back to your body. So that is, you're really looking to be.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about this before we got on here, y'all. And I'm just shocked that people don't clean their toys.
I mean, I think that there's an assumption that, oh, it's my body, so it's not a big deal. And, it's already been in my vagina. So what's the big deal about putting it back in my vagina? Not understanding that you could introduce, that bacteria can develop.
Right.
So, yeah. So I think there's just an assumption that I've already inserted it before. So what's the big deal?
And water is not enough.
No, you want to use something. Usually there's a toy cleaners that actually are really good to help sterilize your toy. Also, if you in some of the research that I did, it said to put it in the dishwasher. I'm not putting no toy in my damn dishwasher. But to each his own.
Forks and spoons.
Girl, with the forks and spoons, honey. I mean, well, a lot of people believe in putting stuff on the top rack of the dishwasher. I mean, I don't.
It's just dripping all over the plates and the forks and the spoons. That's no.
Anyway.
No.
Yes, but you could actually, for silicone, you can put it in boiling water to disinfect it. So you can disinfect it that way. And but if you have anything that you insert that you want to clean, you want to make sure if it's not a actually toy cleaner that's designed to clean it, that you're going to want to use something that's really mild and something that you would actually use in your vaginal area, because you don't want to introduce some soaps leave film. Yep. Some soaps leave a film, and so you'll have a film left on the actual item and then reintroduce that to your body. So you do not want to do that. So yeah, but definitely clean it. And you want to clean it actually before you use it, because I think it's a lot of times we think you've cleaned it, it's stored, now you pull it out and you want to use it. Oh, I cleaned it before I put it away, but there's dust, there's all sorts of, like, just clean your toys before you use them. Even after they, you just you don't know what you might be introducing to your body.
Okay, so clean before and after use.
And after, yes. Yes, with a gentle cleaner. Also, with just in terms of actually cleaning, you also want to make sure you're using something gentle, because a lot of these toys, there's an investment. You do not want to now damage the product by using something harsh that is now going to, you just spent all this money for a toy. So,
right.
So consider that. Let's see, what other fun stuff do I have in terms of what to. Oh, one of the Dil-donts is don't share your toys. I think some people. I'm sure most people probably know that. However, sharing toys is just like having, you using a toy that somebody else has used. You might as well be having sex with them. So, you want to, again, if you're gonna do that, use a condom. Or you want to make sure that this is somebody that you would actually, swap fluids with, that you are actually in that intimate of a relationship. And please do not introduce these. When you with a new partner, don't let them use some toy that already used on somebody on you. That to some people, feel like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna hold on to what I have, and I'm just gonna use it with the next person. Again.
Now, is that for toys that are inserted?
Oh, yeah.
All toys.
Well, I would say internally. I think that if in terms of all toys, I think that's a matter of preference. Because you could get fluid on stuff. I don't know that I want to touch anything that you use. It may not necessarily not be safe. It may not be dangerous, but I don't know that I want to.
You don't know what it's saying,
right? I don't like, even if we talk about handcuffs, like, okay, so did you come on the handcuffs? I just don't want to possibly use stuff that may have had somebody else's fluids on. Now, but those things, you can wash them off. I just don't think I want to, for myself personally. Now, I think, but definitely with something that's inserted, I would be very careful about whether you would have sex with that person or not. So that's something to consider. Let's see. Let's see. So one of my sex do's is to use toys for sexual dysfunction. So we sometimes have different reasons that we're not being able to experience sexual pleasure in the bedroom. Sometimes, like, let's say we did a show about erectile dysfunction. We did a show about low libido or lacking sexual desire. Sometimes there's difficulty achieving achieving orgasm. There's lots of toys on the market that can support you with all of those. And so sometimes people need to use an enhancing, what do we say? What is it's not enhancing. What do we say?
A sex prop.
Prop. Okay, I said prop. Oh, yeah, I guess.
Pleasure prop.
Yes. Anyway, but yes, using an aid, it's an aid. Using an aid in the bedroom that might support you with different types of sexual dysfunction that may help you be able to achieve things that you've not been able to without it. And it's there's a place to not necessarily look at that from a shameful place, but that it's required because our bodies need whatever support to get there. So so that's something to consider too. And if you have questions about that, I can answer any questions in terms of having any type of, okay, we're having challenges in this area. What can I use to actually improve sex or improve the ability to have orgasm?
Got it.
Yeah, so that's something to consider. There was something else that I was going to add to that. Lube, a sex do. Please use, well, for again, anything that's being inserted, that you use lots of lube. So lubrication, usually, I think that there's an impression that, okay, because when I'm having sex with my partner, I get wet and that can be inserted, and he can, my partner can insert, and I'm usually wet enough to do that. Often toys don't excite you to that same level. So usually you have to start out with lubes. You want to make sure you use a good lube, and you want to make sure you're using the right type of lube for the type of product that you're using. So like, for example, silicone lubes cannot be used with a silicone toy because it will actually break down the actual material. So you just want to make sure you do your research or talk to your the professional that's selling you the product to explain what lube you want to use with whatever toys you might actually be using. And just in terms of, I know lube is not considered a toy, but I would consider it an aid. Stop being ashamed of having to use lube. I mean, lube is, really, lubrication. So all throughout different stages in the month, we all experience some level, or we can experience some level of dryness. It usually fluctuates depending on your cycle. It also can fluctuate depending on how hydrated you are in terms of your fluid intake. It can change depending on medication that you may be taking. It also can change depending on what you may have eaten. So there's so many different things that can affect your how lubricated you are. And then also we know that sometimes how long you've been going. You at it for 2 hours, do not expect to be as lubricated as you were when you first got started. So it's always nice to have a bottle of a lube handy right on the bedstand, so that in the event that you need it, you have it available. So that's something to consider.
Are there any lubes that you recommend?
Oh, yes, thank you. So one, I recommend that you have a water-based lube, so that it matches the natural environment of the vagina. So you want to avoid anything that's an oil, because oils actually can trap bacteria in your body. In your vagina, and then that could actually lead to an infection. So you want something that's water-based and that matches your natural environment. Yeah. You also want to avoid having dry sex, because sex, when you start to dry up, I don't know about, when you're in the middle of it and you can tell that it's drier, but you still just kind of you're trying to keep going for it. That can actually cause micro tears on the inside of your vagina that allow bacteria to get up under the skin, that can also lead to an infection. So wetter is better. You want to use as much as much lubrication as possible. So, so please use your lubrication. Also, there's some lubrications. There's a 100% silicone. As I said, you can't use it with a silicone toy, but you can use that to go all night. When I tell you that you almost don't have to reapply. You are going to be as slippery when you put it on as you woke up, as 3 hours from now, you'll still be as slippery. You have to wash silicone lube off.
So how do you wash that out of the
your vagina naturally cleanses itself. It'll
release it. But the silicone lubricant will last
all night
all. Gee,
and into the morning.
I
No,
know.
it won't. It doesn't. It won't. You have to wash it off. It does not dry up.
Wow.
It's really. It's
Wait a minute. Amazon.
yeah. So you just want to make sure that you are. Yeah. So get a good lube and so make sure you stay slippery enough.
Okay, that was a good deal, dude.
Oh, so I have another one in terms of you're using your products. Anything that you insert, do not go from the back to the front.
Oh
Please,
yeah.
by all means. So whatever you insert, whatever you're using to insert for anal play is not a toy to be used for vaginal play. So once you start using it for anal play, it is strictly anal. Do not actually now use this toy because again, even if you clean it, you just want to the anus has so many bacteria. You just do not want to risk possibly transferring that to the vagina. You just do not. So just kind of keep those separate.
As separate as possible because it's hard because those on women the areas are so close. I know I've had those slip up like, oh, I go wash that shit off.
Right, exactly.
Like, no.
Yep, you want to be careful.
Yeah,
yep.
You definitely have to be careful. So even if there's a slip up in general, because it's so easy to make sure you clean the toy or the penis or whatever it is because
do not go from the anus into the vagina. Period. No matter what that song says. Do not wind up in the hospital. Was it there was such a what's that butter? Something butter. Girl, you don't remember that song?
I remember that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
When they were talking about exactly. And they think that shit is cute until you wind up in the hospital. There are people who wind up in the hospital behind some of this activity. So you want to make sure when I'm saying Dil-dos and Dil-donts, I'm trying to keep your ass out the hospital. So
Jesus.
You want to keep from doing specific things. Another thing you want to make sure that you don't do is anything that you have for anal play. It needs to have a stopper on the end. Let me see. Let me see if I have one of my
on the end.
Yeah, it needs to be okay. So this is one of the toys that we have. That's a anal vibrator, right? See how this has that broad base at the end. This is designed to keep it from going all the way up into the anus. So what happens? The anus is like a suction. You can play with a toy and have it grab that and suck that up in there, and then you are going to be in the ER.
Oh, is that how the gerbils get stuck up there? Yeah.
Girl, with the gerbil. Exactly. That and some of everything else. I mean, there's a lot of people think, oh, this is just a small vibrator. Even if you're thinking you can just play with it for a second, it's possible for it to disappear. You do not want to take that risk. Do not use anything that does not have a broad bottom. That's why all the butt plugs actually have the broad bottom at the end, because you need something that's actually a stop that is keeping it from going up in there. Of course, that's not necessary for the vagina, but it is. Do not play around with the anus. Even slightly inserting something, it can be gone before you know it, and you're like, "Oh shit!" What? just don't take that.
Do right. You be in there shitting the vibrator.
No, you're gonna be in the hospital because I mean, sometimes it's not something that's easy for you to just turn around and push back out.
That sounds so horrible.
Yeah, go Google it and see how many people wind up in the hospital and see if you want to take that chance. So again, we're trying to keep you safe.
I believe you.
So now some stuff about toy care. One, you want to make sure that we talked about cleaning it, but you also want to make sure you store it in a way that keeps it safe. First of all, if you have toys that have not vibrators, batteries that are battery operated, take the batteries out between each use, because you can damage you're keeping the motor engaged, so it burns out your motor more quickly when your batteries are still in the toy. So you want to take those out between uses, and you want to keep it from, sometimes, if you haven't used the product in a long time, you could corrode the inside. You know how you have a battery go old? Yeah. So you want to take the batteries out. Also, you want to store them separately for like silicone toys. Again, the way silicone lube can actually damage the outside of a toy, two silicone toys sitting next to each other can damage each other. So
Okay.
usually they come with their own little pouch. You want to kind of keep them in their separate pouches and then store them that way. Yeah, so try not to
These are
just throw
some
them
great
all.
toys. I
Yeah.
wish you would put if we next time we have the do's and don'ts on the screen.
Oh, put it on the screen. Do not do do this and don't do this. And yeah, we'll have to do another one. I'm gonna do a whole toy presentation too, because there's new products that I plan on purchasing that I'm excited about, and I'm gonna actually do um demos. Not demos in terms of me using them, but some product reviews. That's what I mean, not demos. I'm gonna do some
Thank
product
you.
reviews on
We
some
don't want to get
products.
kicked off of Facebook.
Yes, especially some of my favorite ones, because there's some that are really good and they're coming out some really good products. Oh, now another deal do is to invest in quality. Don't be out here buying these cheap ass toys that I mean
On wish.com.
do not buy a toy on wish.com. Come on now. Be a grown adult. And not all toys have to be expensive. I mean, we have stuff ranging from anywhere from $20 all the way up to $300. But but just make sure whatever it is quality. So and that you are usually the ones that are better quality have a lot more functionality in terms of the different options that you can the different speeds and the strengths and all of that. But in addition, usually the actual material that it's made out of is really good, and a lot of them are water submergible, so you can actually play with them in the tub or in the hot tub, or so you actually can.
People around here electrocuting themselves now.
Well,
they say that they are water immersible.
Yeah, so thank you for saying that. So because another point I have in here is do not submerge any toy unless it says it's actually waterproof. Not splash proof, because splash proof just means that you can clean it off. It does not mean that you should submerge it underwater. So you want to be very careful and make sure that it is a waterproof toy. But most of them will say that. But a lot of the better quality toys say that they are, will tell you that they're waterproof. A lot of them are rechargeable, so there's no batteries. And a lot of them actually come with warranty, so that if the toy goes out in less than a year or 2 years, that you're able to replace them. So so that's going to come with some of your better products.
Okay.
So let me see what else I have on this list. I had a whole bunch of them that I Dil-donts. Don't avoid to get expert support. I mean, ask somebody that knows, that can tell you about the products and maybe recommend stuff. And also they can ask the right questions, because usually a sex toy expert knows, what questions to ask to lead you in the direction of what might be a more suitable toy. Because of course, the thing with adult toys is you purchase it, it's yours. You will not be able to return it.
Right.
So, to try to keep from losing a ton of money, it sometimes helps to have somebody who can actually support you with understanding what may be a better choice for you. There's some toys that have stronger vibration than others. There are some that that maybe will do a certain, like if you're trying to, let's say, have a trying to learn how to squirt. There are toys that are designed to help you squirt, and they would be able to point you in the direction of that, or or whatever it is that you're dealing with. So so it would be a good idea to ask somebody. And again, like I said, toys is one of my favorite things. I have a huge stash. so I would be able to answer your questions. Yes.
Okay. So question, if you are exploring toys on your own and you don't have anyone to ask physically, are there review sites, or should you,
Oh yeah.
what's another way you can learn about?
YouTube University. Just about everything you can
YouTube.
imagine, somebody has probably reviewed that product and is talking about it. If it's sold on Amazon, you'll hear people talk about their reviews on Amazon too. But usually, most products there are. If you Google it, if it's pretty well known, there will be some review of some type about the product, and at least about what that person think. What those particular those particular individuals' review is for that particular product.
Gotcha.
Yep. So yeah. Also, most toy stores have the ability for you to test the product out in terms of touching it and feeling it and seeing how if the vibration feels like it's strong enough for you. One of the ways that you can test that when you're if you want to know how it might feel on your clitoris, try putting it on your nose. And you can feel the sensitivity on your nose. It gives you an idea of what it might feel like down below.
What's a good starter toy?
Good start. That's a good question. One of the toys that I usually recommend for somebody that is just getting started is something like a bullet. And I actually have an example of something similar. Let me see. Do I have where's my, okay. All right. I know I put it up here. I don't see it. Okay. So something that is designed. Oh, there it is. I'll grab it. It's something that's designed to stimulate the clitoris because 80% of women need clitoral stimulation in order to have an orgasm. So something like, first of all, something like a bullet, it's small. It's usually, it's not competing with your partner. It can be used with your partner. Usually you can even be being penetrated and stimulate your clitoris so that it can support you with having an orgasm while you're being penetrated. And sometimes you can either hold the bullet and use it or hold it to your clitoris. Your partner can usually hold it and do a reach around and while you're being penetrated from the back. So there's so many different ways to use a bullet too. But I think bullet is like this not intimidating. And they're so inexpensive. They're, that's like a good first toy to try.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So the one that I was going to show is it's a lipstick vibrator that we have with this is not considered a bullet, but it's similar. But it's actually a vibrator that's designed that looks like a lipstick. However, it's a very powerful vibrator to stimulate your clitoris. Yes, I would say that's a first time thing. If you are, depending on what you're looking for, if it's a couple that's looking for, something that's the first time that is not necessarily about stimulating the genitalia, there's so many things, like I said, props or pillows to help prop you up in the bed, or depending on whether you want to try like I don't know if I'd say that's the first time, but maybe a blindfold to actually have you cut off one of your senses so that it enhances your other senses. That would be a good, depending on your partner, like having your partner be blindfolded while you go down on him would be amazing in terms of how it enhances the sensations.
Okay.
Yeah. So just a thought. Let's see. Let me. So one of the don'ts that I have on here is to don't think that sex toys are a crutch for bad sex. They're not going to actually necessarily fix bad sex. Bad sex usually has something to do with you and your relationship. And there's an opportunity for you to work through what has you not being able to either not being able to be intimate in a way that works for both of you, or looking at technique and helping you work through technique. But a toy is not going to be a substitute for sex. That's just awful. Also, it's not a sign for how bad you are in bed. You can be amazing and a toy can just be an enhancement. So don't look at a toy as either one of those. Let's see. Yeah. So, because I find that sometimes people think that, a toy means that, again, like we were talking earlier, that their partner is not enjoying sex with them. And that's not necessarily the case. It just may mean let's have some fun and try something different. So I just looked and realized we have talked ourselves into 9 o'clock.
We sure have.
So I'm trying to say I don't have anything else that's standing out. We talked about storage. We talked about selection. We talked about using the right selecting the right type of um, material. I think we kind of fit a lot in.
Okay. Well, I've learned a lot. I think my take home is the silicone lubricant. That was some good ass information. Like,
But just let me know. I got bottles of it, so you can order.
okay,
You can get some from me.
Yeah, that was
all night.
That
all
was
night.
A jewel. So
Right.
I'm definitely looking at that. And yeah, thank you, Sonia.
You are welcome.
Well, she's available if you want to talk to her or get some advice, buy some toys.
Do a toy party.
Do a toy party. You can reach a party. You can reach out to Sonia and she can hook you up with all of that. Doesn't matter where you are. So yeah, please reach out. So next week is the holiday week. So we are not having a live show, but we'll be doing I'll be doing some money mantras. So
yeah, I mentioned that to them at the
beginning. We can take you guys to the new year, with changing your mindset about money. Hopefully you are not going broke for the holidays. Share your time, your love. Time is the biggest present you can give anyone. So consider that. So it'll go through the Kwanzaa holiday. So that's all we have for today. And we are going to see you guys in the new year.
Yes. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year and all that good. Happy Kwanzaa, happy Christmas, happy Hanukkah, all that good stuff. So we'll see you in the new year. And we love you and have a prosperous holiday.
Yes.
Fresh out the oven, straight to the bank. Ben's Hager smelling like bank. Seats, somebody died on them. Kitty looking like somebody cried on it. Ooh, what you looking at? What you looking at? Body lights in the mirror, icing on the top.